If you're trying to create a popular blog or successful online business, then you know that one of the key ingredients is getting traffic to your website. Without traffic, you don't have anyone to share your content, read what you write, or buy your products. Traffic is really important, but how do you get more of it? If you Google how to get more traffic, you're probably going to come up with 3 main strategies that just about everyone recommends. Those are SEO, networking, and social media. So let's talk about each of those 3 strategies first and what's right about them and what's wrong about them. So first of all, you've got SEO, and that just means search engine optimization. Search engine optimization means that you're making it easier for search engines to understand what your content is all about so that they know who they should be sharing it with. Google is a robot, not a human, so it can't read your article and say, oh, hey, Susie would really like this. So instead what Google does is it uses the keywords that people type into the search bar, and it searches articles for those words and tries to find a nice match. This is great for both the people who are searching Google and for you too, if you do it right. You need to make sure that you put those words in your article that people would actually be looking for, specifically in some key areas such as the title, headers, and as tags on the images, so that Google can understand exactly what your article is about. Now let's talk about the second normal traffic strategy, and that is networking. So networking just basically means that you're reaching out, meeting new people, and then you know what different people would be interested in, so then when you write a piece of content, then you're able to say, hey, Susie would really like this, and you can send it off to Susie. Now, of course, this is a good thing to be doing, because if you know that someone would be interested in your piece of content, you want to share it with them, and they might want to share it with their audience too. So that is a great traffic strategy, but it's still one of the more normal ones. And finally, the third regular traffic strategy would be using social media. Now, social media is a really powerful tool because it's very similar to networking, except it's on a bigger scale. So instead of just sending your article off to one person, you can post it on your social media feed, like your Facebook wall or your Pinterest board, and a whole bunch of people can see it all at once. So you're able to share it with more than one person. This saves you a lot of time and can also be a lot more effective because you might get to share it with someone who you didn't even know would have been interested in it. Okay, so those were the 3 regular kinds of traffic strategies that you're going to find recommended on Google. But what is the problem with those? Well, here it is. Everyone's doing them, okay? Every average website is doing those 3 main things because they're really obvious and they are good practice. They create a great foundation for you to build your website on. Of course you want to make your website easy for search engines, and of course you want to share your content with people who would understand it, and of course you want to leverage your sharing with social media. Those things are obvious and they're great, but if you just do them, then you're not going to be able to stand out and rise above the crowd. There is so much competition in the online space. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of blogs out there, and if you just do the same thing that all of the other bloggers are doing, then you're not really going to stand out and you're not going to get extraordinary results, which is what you need, because the average blog doesn't get very much traffic, and if you want to get very much traffic, you need to do something different. So, what can you do that's different? Well, I've done a lot of research and I looked into what some of the top pro bloggers and very successful online entrepreneurs were doing that really helped them to stand out, because you can bet that they're not just doing those 3 regular things. The first person we're going to talk about is Pat Flynn of Smart Passive Income. If you spent any time in the blogging or online marketing space, then you've definitely heard of Pat before. He is a very, very friendly man who writes about how to create passive, recurring income from blogs, niche sites, and other media outlets. Now, Pat started a number of years ago when there wasn't so much competition, and so he got going pretty easily. However, he's been able to maintain his presence and even grow it substantially, and he's now extremely successful in the blogging space. So, what helped him rise above the crowd? Well, just this. He had a podcast. Now, there's nothing uniquely special about a podcast except that it is a much smaller marketplace compared to Google. On Google, all of the websites in the entire world are being indexed, and there is over 1 billion websites currently active. That's a lot of competition. So if you want to really stand out, then you should take a cue from Pat, and you should dive into one of those more niche media outlets, such as the podcasting world. Pat also managed to use collaboration for his benefit, And I say that in the nicest way possible because Pat was definitely using it for the benefit of his collaborators also. But basically what he did is he developed relationships with a lot of other influencers. He helped them out. He had them on his podcast, he featured them on his blog, and he shared their stuff. Developing those relationships meant that he was able to tap into their audiences and they wanted to share his stuff, so it just snowballed and it really helped him become much more successful. The next top blogger that we're going to talk about is Mariah Cause from Femtrepreneur, I cannot say this word, Femtrepreneur.co. I've always read that and I never knew how difficult it was to say until I tried to film this video. Anyway, she writes about how to create online courses and she creates courses about how to create online courses. So she's very much in the information marketing industry. Now the key strategy that Mariah has used over the past 18 to 24 months to really make her business take off has been to do joint venture webinars. So we all know what a webinar is. It's when you hop on the computer and you see a live stream from someone and they teach you a couple things and then they try to sell you something, right? And you might be like, well, how does that get you traffic? Well, this is how. First of all, they were joint venture webinars. So just like Pat forging those relationships with those key influencers, Mariah was able to tap into the audiences of other influencers by doing a collaborative webinar with them and getting the other influencer to promote that webinar to their audience. So even if Mariah only had 500 email subscribers herself, by doing that joint venture webinar, she was able to get in front of someone else's audience and maybe they had 5,000 email subscribers who they were all being promoted to, or maybe they had 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Whatever that other person's main platform was, Mariah was able to utilize that and get in front of all those people. All those people then signed up for Mariah's email list so that they could get on the webinar, and Mariah was then able to promote her content from her website to that much bigger audience. So you see, this is how Mariah was able to get a whole lot more people looking at her content, and she was also able to sell a whole lot of product along the way. She did over $500,000 last year, which was her first year with Femtrepreneur.co, and I said it that time. Next on my list is Melissa Griffin from melissagriffin.com. Now, Melissa is a motivational blogger who's more recently started talking more about blogging and traffic strategy and email lists and all of those things that go into online marketing. And when she did this, it was when her website really started to take off and she started to get a ton more traffic. Now, Melissa says that the key strategy that played the biggest role in her success was Pinterest marketing or Pinterest sharing. Now, we probably all have a Pinterest account and you might think that it's just a fun place where you pin some really unhealthy recipes that you're probably never gonna make and some cute DIY projects that you're definitely never gonna do. But Pinterest is actually an incredibly powerful tool and almost a machine that you can use to drive traffic to your website. Now you might be wondering how this works. Well, basically Pinterest is a combination of a search engine and a social media platform. So what I mean by this is there's a search bar up there where you can search, Halloween treats, or you can be following other people on Pinterest and see what they are pinning, and you can follow different boards of things you're interested in and see what gets pinned on those boards. Now, the combination of these two things means that content can go viral in a very unique way. So what Melissa does is she shares all of her blog content on Pinterest on her boards, and she also gets on group boards that have a lot more followers so that her content can get in front of a lot more eyeballs. Now, this is a great strategy and Melissa absolutely swears by it. She's actually created a course about how to use Pinterest strategy to get more eyes on your content, and she's not alone. There are several other bloggers who are absolutely swearing by Pinterest. Number 4 on my list is Amy Porterfield. Amy Porterfield has a multi-7-figure business selling courses online, and where she gets most of her website traffic is from paid Facebook ads. Now, a lot of people will tell you that paid traffic just doesn't convert, that you shouldn't waste your money on it, you shouldn't try to buy followers or buy subscribers or buy traffic for your website, that that's just vanity metrics, but Amy Porterfield will tell you wrong because, like I said, she has done a whole lot of sales and those people that she bought definitely did convert. So why is this? Why are some people saying it doesn't work and some people are saying, well, the proof is in the pudding? Well, that's because there are different ways to buy traffic. One way would be like if you went on Fiverr and bought a whole bunch of traffic or views on your content. And that obviously wouldn't work because that would just be robots or maybe people in India who didn't care about your content who are just clicking on it just to get that money. Now that's obviously not going to convert, it's not going to get you anywhere, and that would totally be a vanity metric. However, the other way that you can use paid traffic is with Facebook ads. Now Facebook ads are completely different because you don't have robots clicking on your Facebook ads. In fact, if you do them right, you're promoting your valuable content, and then people who are actually interested in that will be the people who are clicking on it and the people who are opting into your list. Not only are those ads directly driving traffic to your website when the people click on the ad and then visit your website, but you are also then able to remarket to them over time. Every time you come out with a new piece of content, you can send it their way and they can come check out your website. That will definitely get you more traffic. And you can then sell to those people in the future without having to pay to sell to them again. So once they've clicked on your Facebook ad, opted into your list, then you have their email address and you can contact them for free whenever you want. So despite what some naysayers may say, Facebook advertising can be a great tool for getting traffic to your website and more customers for your business. The final influencer on my list that we could all learn a thing or two from is Sunny Lenarduzzi. Sunny has a YouTube channel where she talks about creating videos and using videos to market your business and promote your website. Now, the reason that Sunny says this is a great strategy for getting traffic is because of two things. One, Now, there are two reasons that YouTube is a great strategy for getting more traffic to your website, and the reason that I've decided to start creating more videos myself. The first is that video allows you to create a very unique bond with your viewers. Unlike a blog post where people are just reading the words that you wrote on a page, with a video people are actually able to see your pretty face and hear the sound of your voice. This makes people feel much more connected to you and makes them much more interested in what you have to share with them. The second unique thing about YouTube is that it is a syndicated feed of content. Now what I mean by that is someone might be really interested in your website, but it is still a little bit of a hassle for them to have to go to your specific website to see your content. So they might say, oh hey, so-and-so is my favorite blogger, but they might forget to go and visit their blog. However, on YouTube, there's a whole bunch of different content creators who are all putting their content in the same place. So it's very convenient for someone to go there and see a whole bunch of content from a bunch of different creators who they really like. It makes it more motivating for them to go check out that content on a regular basis, and it means that you can get in front of their eyes more frequently. So how do you use YouTube to drive traffic to your website? Well, it's pretty simple. In your videos, you just say, hey, for more on this topic, or if you want to learn more about this, you can go check out this article on my website. There's a link down below. Or you can even take it a step further and create some specific actionable piece of content like a checklist or a workbook and put a link to that down in the description and then tell people that they can go check that out and download it. When they go to download it, of course, they put in their email address, which is great for you because you are then able to contact them in the future with offers that they might be interested in or content that they might want to share. So if you want to stand out in the online space, if you want to have a successful blog or a very profitable business, then you need to do something special. You can't just stick to those 3 regular traffic strategies that everyone else is doing. You need to find some unique thing that you can do to drive extra traffic to your website so that you can really get those extraordinary results that you want to have. For more information on how to drive traffic to your website and other topics related to how to create and market information products online, make sure you check out my website. It's www.gillianperkins.com. You can find the link down below, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.